Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from simpleprogrammer.com. So I got a question about how to keep up with technology updates, and I'm probably going to alter this question a little bit because it's not quite that clear, but I kind of get what the question asker is asking here. And this is one of those things that's like, how do you keep up with the fast-paced changes in technology? It's a problem that we all have as technologists, even some of us who just do YouTube videos about technology. No, but really, if you're in if you're a programmer, if you're a software developer, if you're in the tech field today, there's so much going on, right? How do you keep up with that? So before I get into that, though, I do want to tell you about my awesomeness sponsor. If there's a bottle full of awesome, then these guys, they're overflowing. And it's hired.com. You can check them out by going to hired.com/simpleprogrammer. And you want to use that link. I'll tell you why in a minute here. It's important though. But let me tell you about Hired. So hired.com basically flips job searching on its tail, on its head, whatever you want to flip it to. And what they do is they have you fill out an application and have companies basically compete and bid for you, as opposed to you sending out like 100 resumes, 200 resumes, and these copy and paste cover letters. It's a waste of time, right? So that's what I like about Hired. You basically fill out an application, and a lot of really high-profile companies will then come after you and seek you out, and that whole process. So go check it out if you haven't already. Go to hired.com/simpleprogrammer, fill out the app, and see. They might not be in your area, so if you don't get a response or you get rejected, it's not necessarily because you suck. It could be because you suck. You might suck. If you suck, whatever. Then watch more videos, get better. But you definitely check it out. I highly recommend it. If you use that link, if you go to hire.com/simpleprogrammer, what you'll get is a $2,000 sign-on bonus if you get a job through them instead of $1,000. So just using that link will get you $1,000. Totally worth it. Go check it out. Let me know what you think. So like I said, I'm going to alter this a little bit. But the question is, someone put for their name, it is hard to keep up with technology updates. But I'm still answering your question, even though you don't know how to fill out a field that says name. Because I've got a forum, by the way, where you can ask questions. Actually, let's put up the link here. If you want to ask questions, this is the fastest way. Instead of emailing me, if you go to this forum, you go right onto my Trello board. That's pretty sweet, right? All right, so trying to decide if I should study computer science or a different career, but the one thing that I'm afraid of is I'm going after computer science is the updates with technology, coding, programming, and a bunch of other things, right? There's a lot of competition, sorry for my grammar, and not great with English, haha, bye. There's a lot of stuff that's changing in the field, and it's hard to keep up with, So I think some people might be intimidated to go into the field of programming or computer science because it's always changing, right? It's like, new JavaScript framework, new thing going on. How do you keep up with this stuff? How do you keep up with technology? So there's a few things that I'm going to give you some strategies, and then I'm going to pimp one of my products here because I think it will help you. But especially, I did an update to this product, which will help you even more to learn programming languages. But before I get into that, let's talk about some of the base level strategies. So first of all, you need to be keeping up. You need to spend 15, 20 minutes, half an hour a day reading through blogs, going to Hacker News and not being a file person there, but looking and seeing what's going on, right? You just spend that time updating yourself, So people who trade stocks, right? They go and they grab the Wall Street Journal every day while they're having a coffee and smoking a cigar. I don't know, maybe a cigar, or I don't know, like shaving their cat or something. Anyway, they wake up in the morning and they look at the Wall Street Journal every morning because they want to know what's going on, right? If you're in politics, you'd be getting a briefing every day. The president gets the president of the United States gets a briefing that says this is what's going on in the world today. This is what you need to know. You need to do that for yourself, right? You need to have some way that you're being connected and you're updated and you know what's going on. You don't have to know all that stuff, right? You don't have to learn everything, but you should know what's going on so you can know. So when someone says, oh, did you hear about this Eve programming language? You're like, oh yeah, I read an article on that. Okay, blah blah blah, right? And so you know what's going on, especially in your space, right? Being informed is important because then you figure out what to learn, what to study, what's important, and you might a problem comes along, and it rings a bell and you're like, oh you know what? I read a post about that, or, oh yeah, I heard about a tool that you can use to solve that problem, right? You've got the answers, and that's important, but you can't do that, in one sitting. You got to do that little by little. Just have some kind of routine every day. So that's number one. Keep up somehow, right? Read blogs, read articles, figure out, what is the RSS feed, what are the blogs you're going to subscribe to. If you haven't subscribed to Simple Programmer, you should do that, right? Subscribe to his YouTube channel, maybe, things like that are going to keep you up to date. Obviously this YouTube channel, I don't talk about tech news all the time, so it's not necessarily going to keep you up to date. It's going to get you some skills, some soft skills and stuff like that. But you got to find those places, especially figure out the places for your particular niche. What is your area of expertise? What blogs, right? When I was doing a lot of ASP.NET development, I had a ton of ASP.NET blogs and news aggregators that I had bookmarked, and I would go to them and visit them and read that, and I would stay up to date with that stuff, okay? So you got to figure that out. Okay, now the second thing that you got to do, I'll say the second thing. So the second thing, I talk about this a lot, is you got to start reading. You got to be reading technical books. You should read all the time. Try to get one technical book done a month, okay? If you need some suggestions, go look at my list of technical books. You can look at, I've got a video on my top 10 ones that I recommend, and then I also have a blog post here on the ultimate list of software development books, and there's a ton of books on there, okay? But you got to start reading these things, especially some of the classic ones that are going to have timeless knowledge, but look for things that are specific in your field or what you're working on, and just be reading that, right, in order to increase your knowledge. You got to have a learning plan. Now, with that said, now it's time for me to plug my thing, but you also, what's going to be critical to both of these things is the ability to learn things quickly. I'll say it again, the ability to learn things quickly, to be able to teach yourself. You've got to become a master at this. This is the most important skill in life, is the ability to teach yourself, to be able to learn quickly. Now, because of this, I put together a course on this. It's called 10 Steps to Learn Anything Quickly. You can check it out here. It's not super expensive. Anyone can afford this course, and it's going to give you the information that you need to be able to learn quickly. Now, I know that a lot of people said, oh, John, well, that's great. You're showing how to learn something that's not programming related, but how do I apply this to technology? So I basically put together a second course and included it with the 10 Steps to Learn Anything Quickly course as a bonus material that's totally free when you buy the course on how to learn a programming language. And I went through and I said, look, if I was going to learn Elixir, this is how I would do it. This is how I apply this 10-step process. So go through the course, go through the 10 steps, first to understand it, and then go through and then look at how to apply it to a programming language. But that's critical. It's such a key skill, right? And the reason why I developed that course, if you don't know already, was because when I created 55 Pluralsight courses, okay? Not kidding. Like, you can check it out. And I did it over a course of 3 years on all kinds of technologies and programming languages and things that I didn't know. I had to learn that shit in short amounts of time, right? So I had to figure out a system for doing that, and because I committed to doing this stuff, so I was damn sure I was going to do it. And so after doing course after course after course, after learning, I don't know how many programming languages I learned in the last 5 to 10 years, probably a good 20, right? Honestly, I actually wrote real programs and actually taught people these programming languages. I'm not even exaggerating here, right? So I figured out a system, and that's what I put together, because I realized that once I got this ability, once I put the system in place and I sort of developed it over time, I would be able to, do whatever I want. And that's the thing is, so if you want to keep up with technology, you got to have a plan, right? So have your own, briefing, right? Your morning briefing, like the president does. You have your own. You have your blogs that you visit, all that stuff, right? Have a technical book that you're reading all the time, that you're constantly advancing your skills at an incremental level by reading and gaining knowledge. And then third, like I said, if you haven't, check out my course. It doesn't have to be my course, but if you want sort of the shortcut on 10 steps to learn anything quickly, and you want the gist of how I did it, and I was pretty successful at it, go check out that course. But even if you don't check out that course, then go and figure out a way. Teach yourself to learn. Figure out a learning technique that's going to allow you to learn rapidly, because once you have that skill, then you can acquire all these skills more rapidly, right? If you can learn at 4 times the rate, if you can figure out how to do that, right? Imagine how much more stuff you can learn. Imagine how much more time that you'll have and how little time that you'll waste. Because, and then imagine this, this is the really big thing is the freedom of being able to walk into a situation and not have to have this big tool belt filled with all the possible programming languages and frameworks and knowledge that you need to have, but to say, okay, when I need to learn something, I can learn it in 3 days, so I don't have to pre-learn all this stuff. I'm adaptable, and that's an extremely valuable skill. So anyway, that's all I got to say about that. I think this will help you. Like I said, I've been keeping up with technology. I've really studied hard at doing this because I've had to, because I've taught on so many different topics, and this is the way that I do it. So those 3 things, remember those 3 things, and you'll be okay. You don't have to worry. It can be done. Don't try and learn everything. Just try to learn quickly. Try to keep up to date on things, and be progressing your knowledge in your specific area, especially your specialty, as much as possible, and you'll be fine. So anyway, I hope you like this video. If you like this video, I do have a request for you. Go ahead and click that subscribe button below. If you haven't subscribed already, you'll like it, because I'll be giving you a lot of videos like this one, and videos about all kinds of things that happen in your life as a programmer that can help you. So anyway, if you like this video, I already said that. Damn it. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. That's it. I'm done. Go check out hired.com. Bye.